Good evening, guys. So I decided I'm going to make a video. I haven't done one of these before about my honest opinion on the game, where it is at the moment, my opinions on it, my thoughts on it, and where I think it can improve, what I think it's bad, what I think it's good, and where they need to improve. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the very bad. Okay, so, and there's a reason for that. It's because this is what the game was like for me when I started playing. Okay, so firstly, uh, I can't speak about career mode AI. I have absolutely no interest in doing any AI racing or career mode racing. At 53 years old, it's like I'm past playing games. I'm past just playing a game. I'm actually here to compete. And for me, the whole experience is purely about online play. So when the game was released, um, I made a lot of negative videos. I made a lot of videos where I was throwing my toys because the game was an absolute shit show. It really was. I couldn't race. And I'm taking this next little scene out of a video that I made in the beginning, just to show you how things have actually come along for the new players, because I'm assuming there are new players that weren't here at the beginning. So I'm going to keep quiet. I'm going to show you what was happening at the beginning. When I bought this game, I just couldn't race. There were people driving past me at 3 times the speed of that I was going. There were people driving through me. There was rubber banding. Cars were shaking like this. They were all over the place. They were back and forwards like this. The network was unstable. Everything was an absolute shit show. I just couldn't race. I tried my best in an absolutely chaotic environment that honestly, I don't know how I persevered, but I'm glad I did. So anyway, here we go. This is going to be where I keep quiet and I'm going to play this video. So you'll see there are cars which are overtaking me on the grass. They're going, if you look at my radar, it's unbelievable speeds past me. There's no ways you could race because you can't defend your position. You can't try block somebody. You can't do wheel-to-wheel racing. You just could not drive. And so I'm going to show you where this was when I started playing this game. I'm going to keep quiet for a couple minutes. Was that netcode? Okay, so at this point I'm doing 70. There's no ways anybody else is doing 170 at this point. The cars behind me, you can see in my mirrors, are not that close. A lot of them are also going wide. You can see in the mirror, they're going wide, they're going off the track. There's no ways they are going so fast as to get what seems like 100 kilometer an hour boost. Okay, I'm just going to play. Look what happens through me, Eau Rouge. And by the way, a car actually drives through me, like literally through me. Let's see what happens now. Watch this Aston Martin. Oh, here comes this guy, 500 kilometers an hour. Whoa, here look at this. How are they driving? How the hell does that happen? This guy here, where the hell did he come from? I'm going to just go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit. What are we waiting for, guys? Let's do this. So it's this guy here, and the other guy is somewhere wherever. Okay, so it's this guy here, and I think it's this guy. No, it's not that guy. It's someone behind. Okay. Was that netcode? Okay. There's the Aston Martin that literally drives straight through me. The other guy isn't even in the picture. This Aston Martin is 0.35 behind me. The other guy, or wherever they are, they're over 1 second behind. In the space of 50 meters, this guy makes up a second. And he's going 3 times the speed I'm going. There's no way you get through Eau Rouge at 150 kilo, or what's that corner? I think the first one is La Source. There is absolutely no way you get through that corner at 150 kilometers an hour to get the speed difference that this guy comes flying past me up the straight. Now, I said before in a previous video, this guy's cheating. I got bombarded. This is not a cheating video. This is me trying to understand what's going on, because something is going on in this game. Something is happening, and the more I play it, the more I'm losing interest. Now, I'm trying to build... Okay, guys, so I didn't want to hash on too much about it, but I think you can see what was happening. You can see my frustration, my anger. I couldn't believe what was happening around me. So that was not to rehash the past, but that was an important place to start this video as to where the game is now. And I can categorically say that doesn't happen anymore. I don't have cars going through me anymore. I don't have cars going around me anymore. Back in those days, you could not drive wheel to wheel. There was no way you could race a car that was alongside you. You had no idea where he was on the track, because he was in front of you, he was behind you, he was jerking back and forth. They were driving through you. It was an absolute shit show. So that's not happening anymore. For me, I can actually put my car on the grid now and I can go and race. Whatever those network problems were, as far as I'm concerned, in my experience now, are now sorted. If you guys have watched my videos for the last few weeks, that has not happened at all. And thank God that hasn't happened, because I would have actually stopped playing. I was pulling my hair out. So that is one good thing. You can actually go and race. You can actually go and put your car on the grid. You can try and defend your position. You can try and overtake. That is a good thing. It's a bloody good thing, because a few weeks ago you just could not race. So the other problem with the racing is, this isn't actually a project motor racing problem. This is a user problem. It's a driver problem. The starts going into turn one. So with my experience, I come from iRacing, where if there's any contact, your car's broken. So people drive very defensively, and they're very aware of the cars which are around you. In this game, you can bash a little bit. You can actually you can sideswipe people. You can actually drive into them a little bit, which is good and makes for much better racing. And that's why I enjoy this game. In iRacing, if you get one tap, you're finished. It's the end of your race. In this game, you can still recover. You can drive. You can bump. You can nudge. What do they say in NASCAR? Rubbing is racing, and you can do that in project motor racing. The problem I've got is turn one. If I do 10 races in project motor racing, I get hit from behind in 8 of them in turn one. And that's not a project motor racing problem, that's a user problem, because I am more aware of what's going on around me. When I go into turn one on the first lap, cold tires, everyone's bunched up, I lift off a little bit earlier, I coast towards, and then I brake. So I can pretty much avoid the cars around me. The problem is the cars behind me don't do that. It's almost like they don't see that there's cars around them, and I don't know how they fucking can't see that there's cars around them, because when there's cars in front of you, you can't use your standard brake marker. You have to brake earlier. You just have to, and they don't. And I get hit from behind so often. But like I said, that's not a project motor racing problem. That's a user problem. I can't blame that on project motor racing. But I think project motor racing can fix that problem with rolling starts. If you have a rolling start, you are guaranteed to have a wider field spread. Not everyone is on the same place on the track going into turn one. The field's a lot more spread out, which eliminates a lot of 3 wide, 4 wide, 5 wide, fucking 10 wide, or people not braking, because the cars behind you are a lot further behind you. I really think that's something they need to implement in online racing, because it's a big problem. The overall, when I started driving as well, I also made another video. I'm not here to replay all my videos. I counted. I was hit 27 times in qualifying and a race at Silverstone. I was hit 27 times. That doesn't happen to me anymore. The quality of driving has gotten better, but then there was also 30 or 40 cars in the field. I think they've made the field smaller. It's like maybe 14, 15 cars in a field now. If there's more than that, you get two splits. So I think they've learned from that as well, and I think that's also a good thing. Like in iRacing, you can literally race with 30 cars on the grid, and you can have a safe race. In this game, if there's 15 cars in the fields, it's actually a little bit too much, I feel. I think the sweet spot is about 10 cars, maybe 12 cars. Anything more than that, it's going to be a shit show. That's in my experience. But again, that's not a Project Motor Racing problem, that's a driver user problem. But Project Motor Racing can fix that by implementing penalties, by having consequences for your actions. At the moment, there are no consequences. And I actually tried to report a guy for some reason a few races back, and the report button that was there on day one on launch was gone. You can't report anyone. But having said that, I do like the fact that I can race a bit without consequences. Like, I can nudge somebody, I can sideswipe them when I pass them, I can overtake off the grass a little bit with two wheels on the grass, I can push him off, but within reason. Some people are driving like you just don't exist, but again, that's a user problem, it's not a Project Motor Racing problem. So for me, the online experience is so much better. The online experience, it's drivable, you can go and race. The fact that they've narrowed down the fields, instead of having 30 car fields, it's like 15, is fantastic. You can go and race. What I think they need to do is rolling starts to help with the chaos into turn one. If there's rolling starts, you can probably put more like 20 cars on the grid, because there will be more of a field spread. You could make a bigger field. What I also love about this game is there are short races. I can literally just go and race for 15-20 minutes, and that's a race, and then I can turn off my computer. That is fantastic. I really like that. You don't really get that in iRacing, what I race. But having said that, I would like them to introduce longer races where you need to do a fuel stop. That just adds another element into your races. Some people don't get the car stopped in time, then they get a black flag. It takes them out of contention. Some people will overshoot. Again, it takes them out of contention. Some people under fuel, takes them out of contention. It just makes the racing, I don't want to say more realistic, but it just adds a little bit more consequence into your race. Because if you screw up in the pit stop sequence, it's going to screw up your entire race. The other thing I like about this game that they don't have in iRacing, which I think I'm learning as I'm going along, is the tires. You've got soft, medium and hard, and from what I've learned, you need to adjust your tire compound and your tire pressures according to the track temperature. That's something I've had to get used to that I never had before, and I absolutely love that. It just adds a little bit of extra thinking into your race. Okay, so now what I think is bad and what I think they really need to fix. Let's just go into a single player, into a race weekend. Let me just go here. I'm going to show you. There are two things. The first one infuriates me. It absolutely drives me mad. And I can't imagine this is normal. There has to be a setting to change this, but I cannot for the life of me find the setting. And when we go onto the track, I will explain to you exactly what it is. Oh, why is it taking so long? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so when I want to drive, you'll see exactly now. It's this. It's this. Why do I have to dab the clutch, dab the brakes, and dab the throttle? Why do I have to do that? What is the reason of having that there? Other than just to irritate me. Because it irritates me. When I did my online test, I actually didn't know I had to do this. Because I had the car, I had the game, I did about 20 laps in the Mazda at Lime Rock. I went and did my test and I was given Division 4 or Grade 4, whatever it was. Off the start, I lost because of this. I had the brakes at 50%, the clutch at 50%. I couldn't get off the line. And even when I was doing online multiplayer for the first week, I actually didn't know what was wrong, why I couldn't get the cars off the line. And it was because of this. I don't know why there's not a setting that can turn this off. Like, if I go cockpit setup, no. If I go here, why is there not a setting that I can turn that off by default? Why do I have to do this? Okay. And then just before the freaking start of the race, when the lights go out, I have to do the sequence again. It drives me nuts. I can't believe that this can't be fixed. Unless there's something I don't know. Please, if anybody knows what's going on here, this is the one problem I have. And the other problem I have is, which I think they also need to fix, is if you go to vehicle setup, there are no explanations. It doesn't tell you anything. Luckily, I've got a bit of experience in doing car setups, but there should be an exclamation, or an explanation when I hover over, saying what will happen if I increase it, what will happen if I decrease it, what will happen if I increase it. My big thing is the AR blades. I know from iRacing, if I lower this, I have to raise this. That's all I know. If this game works differently, I don't think it does, because I've been playing it a while, and this seems to work how I know it works. I know that if I lower this and I raise this, I get more oversteer. If I raise this, I lower this, I get more understeer. But there's no explanations. There's no explanations how the towing, camber. And I really think they actually need to add, they really need to add that into the game. That is the one thing that really needs to be addressed, in my opinion. As far as the online, as far as the online racing goes, I think it's superb. It's come a very long way. This game does everything I now wanted to do, or I envisioned it would do when I bought this game. I bought this game because iRacing is incredibly intensive. Practice, setup, there's just far too much overhead. It's far too much time you need. If you don't spend all those hours, like I don't, I just like to quickly set up the car, put the car on the grid and go and race. That makes me uncompetitive in iRacing, and that's what I like about this game, and that's why I bought it. The whole purpose of me buying this game was to literally, I want to do a GT4 race. There's a race in 10 minutes. Okay, I can just go and do it. And this game now does everything I wanted to do. I get everything from this game I wanted from it when I bought it. So that's a huge thumbs up, because when I got this game, like I said and I showed you in the beginning, I could not race this game. I just couldn't race. It was an absolute shit show. It was a nightmare. And I was so pissed off. Now, I can go and race. I get hit, I get bumped, but I can still go and race. And that to me is very important. The fun factor is there. In the beginning, it was just stress. It was just, I don't want to say stress. It was just, I was just pissed off. I was angry. I was like, I bought this thing, it doesn't freaking work. Now, it's a different scenario. I can be happy. I can just go and do a race. I might get hit, but I can recover, and I know, as you've seen in my videos, other people will also have their accidents. They'll wipe out. I'll make my way back to the grid. But for the most part, I'm not an aggressive driver. I don't overdrive the car. I prefer longer races in that regard because it makes me more competitive. But the game does everything I want it to now. It's perfect. In last night's patch, I did a race this morning was my first race after the patch, was in the GT3 at Imola, and immediately I could see that the graphics were a lot better. I mean, all I've been driving for the last 3 weeks is Imola. I've been practicing, I've been testing the cars at Imola, the GT3s were at Imola, something else was at Imola, everything's at freaking Imola. This game just loves Imola, everything's at Imola. I've had this game about 6-7 weeks. I've never seen Monza, I've never seen Kyalami. I'm sure there's other games I've never seen. We always just seem to be back at Imola. But the good thing is I noticed straight away the graphics were improved. And I can see straight away I can race wheel to wheel. I'm still a little bit unsure about speeds of some guys. This morning I had a guy in an Audi. He must have passed me 6 times in the same race, and then he would crash 6 times. Now, I don't know how you can lose so much time with having 5 or 6 crashes and still make that time up in an 8-lap race to come past me 5 or 6 times. That's a little bit suspect, but the fun aspect's still there. I think the way they can improve this game is by rolling starts. 100%. They need to do rolling starts. It will spread the field out more into turn 1. There will be less turn 1 accidents. And it will make qualifying more important. A lot of people are not qualifying, and then they think they're a hero. Let me get to the front of the field by turn 4. Chaos. No. I think that will actually help it a lot. I think they've done a much better job with the graphics. I think I can see a big improvement. The game is 100% more enjoyable, 100% more playable and drivable than it was a few weeks ago, and based on that I can only see it improving. The only things I think it needs to fix are the rolling starts. It needs to fix whatever that problem is with the brake and the clutch, because that drives me mad. It literally drives me mad. And they need to fix the setups. They need to put explanations as to, if you adjust it, how does it affect the car? And they need to put consequences into people's actions. They need to try and make people a little bit more aware and a little bit more appreciative that there are other people in the race. But as far as me, I love the game. I'm having so much fun with it, more than what I thought, to be honest. My YouTube channel is growing astronomically, which is obviously really fantastic for me. So I also want to thank everyone who's liked, subscribed, whatever. We have a Discord. Please go and join us there. We've only got about 16 people there. I've got setups. There's a lot of other things. My plan for my Discord is, when we got enough guys, I want to try start a league where we can all race on like a Thursday night. Unfortunately, I'm on European time. I don't know how that affects other people. Or maybe we can do like maybe a Sunday afternoon race where it's early in the morning for people in America. It's late at night for Australia, but maybe everyone can fit in. I want to do league races. I want to get my Discord up and running. And guys, I really appreciate everyone who's supported me, helped me, liked, subscribed, all the comments. My YouTube channel has really taken off with this game. I'm very thankful for that. I'm very appreciative of it. Onward and upward. Let's go. Let's hopefully spread the word of this game. Hopefully now that the game is playable, it will get a lot more players. Hopefully it will grow my channel. So thanks for watching. That's my honest opinion of this game, guys. Have a super evening. Please consider liking, subscribing, and please consider joining our Discord. Have a super evening. Thank you.